My name is Matt Kettleson. I'm here with the Owatonna Chamber Ambassadors, and we are at the Linder Farm Network headquarters here in Owatonna. And with me is Lynn Kettleson, who also happens to be my dad and the founder of the Linder Farm Network. And we're here today to celebrate an amazing milestone, the 50-year anniversary of the Linder Farm Network. Lynn, congratulations. Can you tell us just a little bit about the Farm Network?
Yeah, I appreciate all of you being here today. It's just an honor for us to have you here. And you know, it's interesting because Mary and I always wanted to be in Owatonna, and we started the Farm Network 50 years ago for the Linder family that owned 4 radio stations. And they had been looking for a farm broadcaster at their headquarters in Wilmer and couldn't find anybody because WCCO at the time owned the state of Minnesota. They had a 50% share, and the Linders had almost a 0. Well, I was young enough, and Mary and I figured we had nothing to lose. Let's come up on an adventure to Minnesota where there's actually lakes. I mean, we lived in Iowa. We didn't know there were any lakes around. And we started the Farm Network with the Linder family. And through the years, I literally went to thousands of meetings all over the state, introducing myself. We did farm reports. And now we have the 50% share of farmers, and WCCO has the 4 or 5% share of farmers. It's been a turnaround. As far as Owatonna goes, we always wanted to live in Owatonna. Mary's maid of honor was from Owatonna, and we actually tried to buy the other radio station years before we started all of this and had a purchase agreement, but a corporate entity came in, offered more money, and ended up with KRFO. So when we had an opportunity to apply for a small radio license here in Owatonna, we did that. And it was originally going to be a 6,000 watt station. And to build one of those takes about $100,000. And we thought, okay, we can finance that, we can build it. And the engineer, after we got the okay from the FCC, called up and said, gee, this can be a 50,000 watt station instead of 6,000. And I said, oh, is that good? And he said, yeah, that's really good. And he called back a week later and he said, I don't know, it's just a quirk of fate. This can be 100,000 watt FM. And I said, wow, is that good? And he said, that's really good. And I said, well, what's that mean? Well, instead of costing 100,000 to build it, it'll cost $1 million. And I said, well, that's really good. So we had to find a partner that had money because we didn't have any money. And we've got John Linder as a partner. And we built KOWZ. We put the Linder Farm Network here. And the rest is history. As far as Matt goes, his first job here with the Farm Network was actually running the vacuum and cleaning the bathrooms. And then he elevated himself to overnight disc jockey. And then he ended up working for Gil Gutnick and Norm Coleman in politics, and he was driving Norm around the state. I mean, Matt literally started right at the bottom and now is one of the best managers in the country, in my opinion. He does a terrific job. So without him, I don't know where our future would be here, but with him, we know we're in solid hands. So anyway, we're just really happy to be in Owatonna. We love it here, and it's just been a great run for us for 50 years. And people ask me when I'm going to retire, and I say, well, I like what I'm doing, and we travel, but we like being here. We like the job, and I like being on the air. So, you know, we'll just take it one day at a time. So again, thank you all for being here.
Thank you. Thank you.